Oh, well, what is overrated, then,
All sorts
is
of
not us. Possibly.
things.
Why am I dark? Are we light? Are we good? Are we lit? Should we brighten it up? Let us brighten up your day.
I can try and turn on this light.
That will probably help.
Does that help?
That helps.
Cool.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Ish.
Ish.
Better than before.
Yeah, lit me up.
Did you get lit?
I got lit.
Oh, how was your weekend?
It was fine.
You had your Sunday thing.
Went to see a musical with Christy.
Wait, you went to a musical?
Yeah, we went to see a musical at the Amundsen in LA.
Oh. Is that in the music news?
No.
Oh. Can we put it in the music news?
No.
Oh.
It is not. It's not news. Shows tour all the time.
Yep. We're being switched up today. All right, good.
Yeah.
Next, said live. We're good. All right, roll those intro. I know we got to roll off an intro package to do that.
Yeah, you need to make something to make that happen.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Otani's batting now?
Yeah, that's a season 5 us.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
that he was back. I
Uh,
missed a handful of games.
yeah, he's back for like 2 weeks, I think.
Okay.
He's pitching like slightly, but he was hitting before
But
that.
at least he's hitting, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how he does.
Share a tweet via. I want to actually copy the clipboard. All right, so I told some people to watch us.
Okay.
2 hours.
All right.
Someone say it's been 2 hours. So I'm telling them, check us out. Check us out that we're live.
We're live. We're alive.
We are commenting live. Well, we are responding to comments live, as we normally do.
As we normally
on
do.
a typical Wednesday podcast.
This is no typical Wednesday podcast.
Well, last week was no typical Wednesday podcast.
Right, last week was a lot of Avengers. This week we'll have significantly less Avengers.
I almost saw the Avengers again.
Yeah.
Yeah, except I would have gone at 9 o'clock and been done at midnight. And I was like, that's a little too much.
Well, look forward to next week where we talk 30 minutes about Detective Pikachu. No, I'm kidding. I don't think we'll talk that much. We'll see.
I will definitely see it though.
Yeah, I plan on seeing it as well. Chrissy and I are going to try to go on Saturday morning for like a what do you call those?
A matinee.
Yeah, matinee.
I may do the same. Doctor's doing brunch of people. It's a bridal brunch.
A bridal brunch?
Yes.
The bridal brunch.
Well, it's because they're all engaged. Somehow that happened.
That's how they
Right?
became
The bridal bunch.
Okay.
With Alice, of course.
On that note, it's time to get the show on the road.
Yes, it is.
Check those levels. The levels are checked. We are prepped.
We have been leveled out. We are live.
We are live on YouTube. This is the Media Boat Podcast. Ta-da. Media Boat
Welcome.
Podcast. If you don't know what the Media Boat Podcast is, we are a podcast. Get that.
It's
Dedicated to news about movies, television, video games, and music. Not necessarily in that order. Today is May 8th, 2019. My name is Matt. His name is Mike.
I'm Mike. He's Matt. And as the name implies, we are a podcast of media stuff.
It's true.
Stuff being the general term.
Yeah, pretty much
General
everything
term.
but books. We don't really talk about books here. But other than that,
For good reason.
Those four other things, video games, music, television, and movies, we do cover here.
Yes, we do.
So,
on a weekly basis.
And on a weekly basis, it's true. And we do this live on YouTube, and we also do this in recorded form on a podcast provider of your choosing. Your chooser?
You chose.
Their one might be called Chooser.
You're
at this
chosen?
point. Like a podcast provider called Chooser. Is
Have
probably
doth choseth the podcast.
Yes, doth chosen wisely. Wow, what? Let's get to it then. So we always start with movies here at the top of the show, and we always start the movies section with the weekend box office numbers.
And lo and behold, the Avengers held on to number one, but barely.
It did the thing we said it was going to do, which is cut 50%, except it cut further than that.
56, I think, 57%.
But that still wiped away everybody else who wanted to compete against that. It is your number one movie. That's Avengers Endgame, in case you didn't pick that up. Is your number one movie again this weekend with $147. Yes, just $147. No, $147 million, adding to its domestic total of $621 million.
It has crossed the $2 billion mark.
Yes.
It has crossed Titanic, which means there's only one film in front of it.
And it is on pace to beat it.
It
So we're looking for, in possibly 3.5 weeks, I think is the estimate, maybe 4, for Avengers Endgame to become the most money-making movie of all time, adjusted for inflation.
And I always have to adjust for inflation.
You always have to mention that because everybody's going to be like, man, no, $1997 are stronger. Titanic is secretly still number one.
Yes, but then people all say, hell no, Gone with the Wind made $3
billion.
billion.
15 years or something ridiculous like that and made millions and millions. Oh, yeah. If you're not paying attention to that and you're just looking at pure numbers.
At the raw numbers.
Yeah. This thing will probably be the number one movie of all time. Very soon. And we'll do it in record time.
Yes, it hit $2 billion in record time. Yeah. Literally, there's only one film in front of it that we can compare it to.
But it's kind of crazy how it took an entire decade for that to finally be beat.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it?
I think it's pretty crazy. Considering this is, the 20-something of these Avengers movies?
Yes, but it's also only like
Marvel movies?
Yeah, but it's only like the 15th film to make $1 billion, I think.
That's true.
19th film to make $1 billion?
Yeah.
Something like that. So
well,
it's not that out of, crazy. But, as we mentioned, it made $147 million this weekend alone, which for any other film would be fantastic for an opening weekend.
That'd be a big opening for most movies.
Yeah.
What didn't have a great opening were the following films. The Intruder is at number 2 with $10 million.
Ooh, very close there. Very close.
Yeah. They did not let him in. Turns out, as the slogan implied, do not let him in.
Yes, the generic-ass slogan
for a movie called
The Intruder.
The Intruder. Number 3, Long Shot with $9.7 million. Ugly Dolls at number 4 with $8.6 million.
Oh, they get that Kelly Clarkson bump from the AMA Billboards or whatever?
The Billboard Awards, yeah. And then lastly, rounding out your top 5, Captain Marvel hangs on with another $4.2 million, adding to its $420 million, bro. Domestic. $420 million. Get that? It was a weed joke.
Yes, the 420.
I made a joke about weed.
It was a weed joke.
Yes, just a weed joke.
Yes, a little green for my taste.
But this weekend, though, upcoming releases, there's 4 movies coming out this weekend.
Yes, as this is the unofficial start of summer.
I mean, Avengers was it.
Well, yes, Avengers is, but usually the first weekend of May, we're in May. The first weekend of May is usually the opening weekend of summer.
Yeah. So
what do we have?
This weekend, well, of course, the crown jewel of this release weekend here, of course, is Detective Pikachu. Ryan Reynolds as a fluffy Pikachu solving crimes.
Yes, I don't know if you saw, but apparently Ryan Reynolds put this film out online.
I did see a little bit of this on Twitter last night. And yeah, apparently it was a really funny joke.
Yes.
But that's all I know.
Okay.
I didn't actually click on the link because I was like, I don't need to know. Is it just him dancing?
It's a GIF. It's a 1 hour GIF of Pikachu dancing.
Because the Pikachu dancing thing has been all over Twitter.
Oh no, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It starts off like a film with the Warner Brothers logo.
Yeah.
And then it just goes into the Pikachu dancing.
This is not important for this segment here. But I noticed that somebody pointed out that apparently the dance moves are apparently taken from a Key and Peele sketch.
Okay.
And they put them back to back to the point where Jordan Peele today tweeted, retweeted it with the caption "Cease and desist," which made me laugh of how perfect that was. But yeah, so Detective Pikachu in theory, it will be in theaters this weekend. No, it will really be in theaters this weekend.
So here comes. Okay, well, what else is coming out this weekend?
Also this weekend, The Hustle. That's your Anne Hathaway Rebel Wilson vehicle, I believe.
Yes, that is correct. They are two con women trying to con out a English prince of money.
Yes, I think.
Whale.
Yes.
I don't know.
And then also Poms, which is not about adorable Pomeranian dogs.
Unfortunately.
But is instead a movie that I've gathered from NPR's ads about it, is about older women going into cheerleading.
Older women coaching cheerleaders.
Coaching cheerleaders.
I believe they're coaching cheerleaders.
Right. I thought they were cheerleaders.
They may or may not be cheerleaders.
Doesn't matter.
You must see the film in order to determine if they are or are not cheerleaders. I want to say that they coach, but then in the finale, they have to actually do the cheerleaders.
Yeah, you're probably right. And then lastly...
And they get disqualified because you're too old, you're not enrolled in the school.
Yes, maybe. And then lastly, a movie that I have not heard about until just this second, but I already know what it is by the name of it.
Okay.
Is this a documentary about J.R.R. Tolkien called Tolkien?
No, actually. No? This is not a documentary about J.R.R. Tolkien. Right. This is a film about J.R.R. Tolkien.
So it's fictionalized? If it's not a documentary...
No. It's like a film about his time during World War I.
That sounds like a documentary.
No. It's a film.
So it's fictionalized?
It's a film.
You're not answering my question.
Yes, probably.
Okay, thank you.
Well, okay. It has to be fictionalized because the estate of Tolkien has come out and said that they...
This is not accurate?
This is not accurate. We do not endorse this film.
Okay, great.
It stars Nicholas Hoult, who is Beast in the X-Men movies and former / maybe still current lover of Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, right, that guy.
Yes.
Okay.
He plays Tolkien in this film.
Got it.
And he's about the biggest star they could get for this thing. Because that's the only one I know is in this.
It's sad. That's sad, really. So yeah, Tolkien is the name of the movie, and that is also out this weekend. Those are your variety of options for theater viewing.
It's a biopic.
This week. You're a biopic.
No, it's not a documentary. It's a biopic.
Biopic. Anyways. So yeah, did you see any movies this weekend before we or this week, I guess I should say?
I almost saw Avengers again, but no, I did not.
You didn't.
So, with Avengers making $140 million?
Yeah.
So, half that's going to be about $70 million.
Yeah.
Does Detective Pikachu beat it in its third week?
No.
Does it not gross $70 million? Opening weekend?
70 seems big for Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
I will take... If you want to put 70 as the over-under, I will take the under.
Not necessarily 70 as the over-under, but will it be number one?
I think... Oh, this is tough.
Right?
Because I want to say the drop-off for Avengers may be more.
Right, which is put it at about 65-ish.
I will give you number one for Detective Pikachu.
Oh, really?
But I do not think it makes it to 70.
Okay.
That's my weird bet I'm making. Watch me be completely wrong. But this is the weird bet I'm making.
That Detective Pikachu will be...
It is your number one movie next weekend, but it will not break 70.
Okay, weird.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to say you're wrong. Just because Avengers is like a steamrolling train. But Detective Pikachu is the new thing.
And it is probably taking a lot of the audience that would see Avengers again.
Right, and it's also a family film.
Right.
Or it's playing to the family crowd.
It's more of a family film than Avengers is.
So it's not like you're buying a ticket for yourself. You're buying a ticket for you and your kids.
It has the magic PG rating, which brings in the younger crowd.
Correct.
So it could do okay.
Yeah.
I just don't know if we can do $70. $70. Yes, it will make $70. That's the Media Boat Podcast guarantee.
$70
it will make at
minimum.
least, if not more, $70. All right. I gotta start saying a million in the mirror a bunch of times. I guess million.
Just like Lil Wayne. A million.
All right. If you didn't see any movies, I didn't see any movies. Let's talk about movie news.
All right, let's talk about movie news. And there's a good trailer that's going to be playing in front of Detective Pikachu.
All right, let's talk about it. This is a follow-up from last week where we briefly talked about how people on the internet do not like how Sonic the Hedgehog looks like in the trailers for Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie.
That's the hashtag not my Sonic.
Is that a real hashtag, or is that something you made up right now?
It's probably both.
Probably both.
It probably is real, but I kind of made it up right now, but I bet that is an actual thing.
Fair enough. So yeah, back in the news though this week, because following all that severe internet backlash, director of the film, Jeff Fowler, went on Twitter to say that design changes are being made to the model of Sonic in the film. So yeah, people complained enough to the abyss that the dude who's done directing this movie basically said, okay, fine, we heard you. Let's go back to the drawing board on Sonic. That is insane. Because if you know anything about how CG movies are made, this is not an easy thing to do, since everything was presumably made and acted around a model that was to look like the model of the film.
Mm-hmm.
So, and second of all, this involves a lot more labor being pulled off of whatever they moved on to and pulled back onto the film that they thought they finished.
This is also not that uncommon in Hollywood. They've done this before where they've had internet backlash and had to redo things, as they say.
Yeah, but I feel like this is a dramatic example of that.
Oh no, it definitely is.
Yeah.
I remember trying to figure out when it was the last time they did this. Oh, the Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right. Yes.
That was probably the last thing. Also Viacom. Well, no. This is Paramount.
This is Paramount.
Yeah, but that's Viacom.
Yeah, so apparently he also said that, quote, everyone at Paramount and Sega are fully committed to making this character the best, in all caps, he can be. In case you were wondering or didn't see the trailer, among the complaints about the Sonic were human teeth. My phone's ringing.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know I'm podcasting.
Or she has actual things to say.
Shapely and disproportionate legs. Did you write that?
Yes.
And the eyes. Oh my, the eyes. Sonic is currently scheduled to release still in November 2019. But after all this, we would not be surprised if it was pushed back.
I will not be surprised if this was pushed into January, maybe next March. If they plan on continuing to make that November release, or if not. Yeah. We have a comment. Hello from a post-Orange Theory Sweatsville friend. Orange Theory is a gym. It's not a gym, more as it is a come in and we'll kick your ass for an hour.
Oh, yeah.
To make you sweat.
I've heard that that's the case.
Yes.
All right, well, there it is. So we'll see what happens with Sonic. We'll see if they make dramatic changes or subtle changes.
I bet there'll be subtle.
Just take his teeth out.
I bet they'll be subtle. I don't think they're going to go super over the top in changing everything.
They really can't.
No, not really.
They really, really can't go too crazy. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, our next story is thankfully a much more interesting and promising one. Another promising destination for the future filmmakers of America. We should be live, right?
Yes, we are live.
Feedback that it's not.
I am getting feedback that we are, because we have comments. So we are live.
All right. Our second story is, like I said, about a new option for to get students from diverse backgrounds to study comedy filmmaking.
So, where would I go to study comedy filmmaking?
None other than the Harold Ramis Film School, named after, of course,
the film school where people go to make films.
Yes, sure. But yes, Harold Ramis, of course, famous for films such as Ghostbusters,
Caddyshack. Named Bill Murray, and he probably
pretty much
directed it.
But yes, the late Harold Ramis is being honored by this film school named after him, the HRFS at the Second City which of course is the renowned organization that brought you most of the cast of SNL over the last 40 years.
Well, yeah, not just the cast, but its writers as well.
Yes, true. They've announced that they've partnered with NBC for the newly created Emerging Voices Scholarship, which will be awarded to students from diverse backgrounds that want to study and flex their funny bone at the renowned Comedy Film School. The scholarship will be awarded to 4 aspiring filmmaking students from the forthcoming fall 2019 class. The film school defines diverse candidates, in case you're wondering, as any group of underrepresented cultural voices, including ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, or religion. And those are all highly encouraged to apply. Applications for the fall 2019 start date are due May 15th, and students who are accepted into the program and are eligible for the Emerging Voices Scholarship and can submit their applications by June 15th. So there you go.
Yes.
So all y'all who are looking to get into this.
Yes, and this scholarship is backed specifically by NBC.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, it's a great way to get your film going. Well, this is for comedy writing, comedy filmmaking.
If you're interested in comedy film and you want to go to school and really own your craft, this is a really cool place to do that.
Yeah, Second City's like second to none best there is.
Yeah, and this will probably be
like
a really good. Yeah,
but that's sort of like stand-up comedy though.
It's definitely one of the earliest examples of those like renowned improv schools.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have ones that followed that, like or were parallel, like the Groundlings. But yeah, Second City was definitely the first. Major source of that kind of talent.
The Groundlings, Second City has 3 locations for this film school as well.
Okay.
You can go take classes in New York, in Chicago, or in Hollywood.
Hey. Back door. So yeah, check that out if you guys are looking for a place to go to film school.
Or, continue going to film school.
Yeah. Hey. All right, that's it for movie news. Right. Anything else about movies before we move on to television?
I have one last thing. Yes, one last thing. Disney decided to basically spill out its beans.
Gross.
From this Disney-Fox merger and list every film that was coming out between now and like 2025.
Oh, right, yes.
In its pipeline.
Okay.
And literally they have like 2 films a month coming out. 2 films every single month for the next 4 years.
Yeah, which we all assumed they would. Except they had some big bombshell announcements about a couple of their biggest franchises.
Yes, apparently Star Wars is not officially done.
But it is, however, taking a pretty long break.
It'll take about a 4 to 5 year gap between its productions. It will not be a direct sequel to Episode 9.
This will be a beginning of what they say is a new trilogy.
Yes, but because of this, and because of the Fox requirement, they've decided to push back the Avatar sequel.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
Again.
So 2021 is now the time for Avatar 2, which will be 12 years after the release of Avatar 1.
And you'll literally have to get people to go back to watch it.
So, yes.
You have to get people reinvigorated in a franchise, big old franchise, quotes here, because there's only one film in this franchise.
There will be 6th graders when that movie comes out that will not have been alive when Avatar 1 came out. Keep that in mind.
Not only that, but they did announce that the MCU will continue.
Yes. In case you were wondering.
In case you had no idea after Endgame.
In case you thought, oh yeah, it's over now. No one will see another one of those movies.
It's like, it's the end, period, right? Endgame.
Yep,
Stamp
it's
on
the
it.
end, boom.
But no. So, we have Spider-Man Homecoming later this year.
Yes.
And then, the next film
That's not what that movie is called. It's called Far From Home.
That's what I said. Spider-Man's ending home.
Yes, sure.
In the summer. And then we will have...
Ooh, I would see Spider-Man in the summer. It's just like Spider-Man going to all these beaches, trying out the waves and surfing.
No, it's like Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, where he's just going around the city web swinging to different tunes.
Uh-huh.
And that's it. No, he's not solving crime. He's just being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Is there a scene where Spider-Man goes into a recording booth and has an orgasm?
No, it doesn't specifically say that. There's just web everywhere.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Anyways,
yes, they have set dates in next year in the summer and fall of 2020, but they are not saying what those films are quite yet.
Well, I mean, yeah, they don't want to blow their web load. Sorry.
All right, that's the last one.
All right.
All right, moving on.
Anything else you need to say about that before we move on finally to television?
No, but
right.
but one thing. Everyone thought that the New Mutants film was going to go either like bye-bye, poof into the dust, or onto their Hulu streaming service. But no, apparently that will definitely still get a release next year.
Okay.
So that was filmed in 2017 and won't premiere until 2020.
Stupid.
Or like 2016, 2017, yeah.
Okay. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on
to
television.
We always start television segment of the show with sports, because that's on television sometimes.
Yes.
And first we get to talk about semifinals. That's the conference finals for both the basketball and hockey leagues.
Yes, Games 5s and Game 7s are being played. No one has swept anybody yet, but oh man, this is a great time to watch.
Who are the teams to watch in the respective
sports?
Sports. Right now, who's hot?
The Rockets.
Rockets.
Houston Rockets are hot as they have tied the number 1 seeded Golden State Warriors at 2 games apiece. Giannis of the Antetokounmpo Giannis.
Okay.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Wow.
Of the Milwaukee Bucks.
You're saying things, but nothing is making any sense.
Remember that long name I make you say?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's a
dude?
That's Antetokounmpo.
All right.
Yes. Him of the Milwaukee Bucks are currently handing the Boston Celtics their green asses as they're up 3-1.
And you don't know their asses are green.
I'm gonna bet they are.
All right.
Especially after the Bucks kicked them up and down the court.
I don't think you would get a green ass from somebody kicking
both of them are
one.
green. Both the colors are green. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That requires some knowledge.
So it's like it's on their shoes?
Yes.
All right. This got out of hand. Anyways.
What
about hockey?
Yes. Antetokounmpo, a.k.a. the Greek Freak.
Oh, the guy. Oh, that guy.
The guy on the cover of the basketball game.
You're right. Yes. I've only heard people refer to him as that Greek dude for the last 2 weeks. I had no idea who anybody was talking about. Now I know. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for explaining that to me.
He's on the cover of video games. Right. That's how you know him.
But what about hockey?
The Dallas Stars lost Game 7. They're eliminated.
Bye.
I want to say the Blue Jackets, Columbus Blues Jackets, I think.
That's a team?
Or Columbus Blues, maybe?
I just don't know.
Something like that. The Houston Golden State series has been so exciting to watch. Yes, we did cover that. Basketball, all those basketball games are exciting to watch. The Golden State versus Denver versus Portland. It's exciting. Also, hockey is exciting.
We have a comment from the chat here that says everyone's ass in Boston is green. That's just a fact.
Just a fact.
From eyewitness accounts here.
So someone from Boston would know.
Not from Boston, but somebody who would know.
Someone who would know.
But anyway.
Let's see. The Blue Jackets are the 8th seed of Destiny this year. They're the ones who beat the Dallas Stars. Also, the Sharks, the Baby Sharks.
Baby Sharks.
Yes, the Baby Sharks are playing the Colorado Avalanche in Game 7 of that series.
All right.
I believe tonight. So we'll see who wins that. Hopefully it's the Baby Sharks. Hopefully not, because they're in our division. I don't like them, but it's okay.
You just don't like them because they beat you.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
They're just Baby Sharks.
They're just Baby Sharks.
Yes. They're the ugly of the Pacific Division.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, the Angels are losing again.
Yeah, we're watching.
Not a spoiler.
We're watching. It's okay. Bases are loaded right now, though, so that's something.
It's something, but
they can't catch up. But it's something.
The Angels did play in Mexico this past weekend as part of a Cinco de Mayo.
Yes, they did. That is not news. Let's talk about actual news.
That was news.
The next sport we need to talk about is good old rich people sport called horse racing.
Ah, yes.
Because the Kentucky Derby happened and there was much controversy.
Well, in the 145th running of the Kentucky Derby, running of the Roses.
Yes, and horses. Mostly.
Yes. Well, no, it's the horses, but they run to win the Roses.
Uh-huh.
Not necessarily like the Rose Bowl, but they do actually get like a bowl of roses.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do the horses just eat it?
No, it's actually they actually pull it out of the bowl. It makes like a wreath. They put it over the horse.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it's
very
draped.
elaborate.
It's draped in a horse.
Draping horses.
Yes,
everyone. Favorite thing to do.
Yes, we know everyone beat you in hockey this year, and no, it's not just the Sharks. Apparently the Sharks are playing. They're up 2-1 after the first period.
Hey, there you go.
So that was actually exciting.
Something. All right. But anyways, so there was controversy about who won.
Yes. So the horse that came in first did not win the race.
So that horse was.
So if that sounds impossible, let me kind of explain it because.
So first of all, what's the name of that horse?
That horse's name was Maximum Security.
Maximum Security, the horse.
It's a great name for a horse. It is a great name for a horse. Anyways, Maximum Security decided to be a bouncer of sorts, and when he came around turn 4, towards the home stretch, he went from inside lane and then went 3 lanes out, just kicking off every horse on its way to basically go out and then come back in. And you can't do that. But there are actual rules in horse racing, not just get to the finish line.
Whoa, really?
Yes. Everyone was shocked, apparently, that
there was actual rules?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense for a sport that rich people like.
Yeah. So
it has to be organized.
Yes. I want my horse to have a fair chance.
Yes. None of those unruly swine on my course. Track.
It's a track.
It's a track.
It's a track. It's a horse of course, but it's a track on track.
Jeez, we are going so off track today.
No. Off course.
Anyways, so Maximum Security, what happened with? So they revoked his win.
So after he crossed the finish line, killing first, everyone was celebrating. Whoop whoop. They literally went to the replay review. Mm-hmm. There was it was in a box, but it's like when the NFL goes under the hood,
right?
And they're watching the same play over and over again
to
determine.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a review play.
But ultimately, he was Dairy Queen. I mean, disqualified.
Yes. He was queened. He was DQ'd.
Yes.
The damn queened. He was disqualified, meaning that the horse who finished first did not officially win. They got disqualified, which means everyone moved up one.
Your winner instead was Country House. Which may be a better horse racing name because it's stupider, like the best horse racing names. So,
some of them were actually stupid this year.
I bet. Like you said that there was a horse just named Law?
Tax.
Sorry, Tax.
The horse's name was just Tax.
Tax, the horse.
Tax.
Which made sense, I mean, considering. But yeah, Country House won with big odds to 62-1. So if you were a gambling man,
and you put $100 on that horse, you won $6,000.
So yeah, congratulations to everybody who literally bet on the under horse because the under horse won.
It was an upset, which is funny because that's where the term upset comes from. A horse named Upset beat Man of War.
But of course, the Triple Crown is not just the Kentucky Derby, and it will continue.
Yes.
The Preakness will be raced on May 18th.
Yes, next Saturday is the Preakness, and we'll probably not have a Triple Crown winner because it's a 62-1 shot.
Country House will not win again.
They're gonna talk to Maximum Security, make sure he knows what not to do, explain the rules to the horse again.
Explain the rules to that horse. Horse wasn't listening the first time.
Even with those big ears, just stop paying attention.
Now here's another question: when they found out that he didn't win, and he was walking away, trotting on back to his farm, do you think somebody asked him, "Hey, why the long face?"
Yes, I do believe that.
Anyways.
That's
it for sports. That's all sports, unless you have anything else to add.
One last thing in sports. If you are still subscribed to the Sports Illustrated magazine.
No, I'm not.
Or if you'd like to pick up a copy of the Sports Illustrated magazine.
I never do.
Their swimsuit edition is coming out.
That's not sports news.
It is when Alex Morgan's on the cover.
Oh, Jesus. Really?
Yes, he is.
Oh, boy. Well, I know at least one copy that will be sold.
I literally could not buy it. I literally could not buy it fast enough. Sports update. The Bucks are crushing the Celtics in the fourth. That series is pretty much over. So the Greek Freak helps his team to move on to the finals.
All right. Well, we will not have updates continuing during the show because we are not a sports podcast. But let's continue on to the rest of our podcast, which is about television news.
Yes. Well, let's talk about something crazier than sports.
Ugh. I'm mad that you picked this story because I did not want to talk about this.
I bet you didn't want to talk about this, but
It's a slow news week,
It's a slow news week.
Pretty much for everything, so I don't blame you too much. We have to talk about Kanye West.
All right.
In the music section, like we usually do.
No. Kanye West is going off the deep end. Or, rather, he saw Avengers Endgame and thought, wow, I have an idea for a multiverse. Or, rather, an omniverse? Because I think that's what it's being called.
That is what it is called, yes, Omniverse. Kanye West is developing a Showtime anthology show in which Jaden Smith will play a young Kanye West in an alternate reality. Alternate reality. Like a reality where Kanye wasn't like a Trump supporter and like said the thing about slavery.
Or where Kanye West, stayed good.
Yeah. Omniverse is described as a limited half-hour anthology series, quote, examining the many doors of perception, barf, and explore the ego through the alternate reality of Mr. West. This will be Kanye West's first TV series credit, and he is producing alongside a laundry list of people you'll recognize: Scooter Braun, Lee Sung-jin, Jaden Smith, James Shin, Scott Manson, and Miguel Melendez.
Who are these people?
I wasn't really going to do each one.
Okay.
Trust me, you know who they are. So yeah, this will be a thing that no one will watch because it's on Showtime.
Well, the Showtime has The Chi, so I think that's Kanye produced.
No,
that's Spike Lee.
Is Spike Lee produced?
Yes, but him.
I don't think Kanye is involved in that.
But it's The Chi.
I want to say maybe Chance the Rapper is.
Okay, that may make sense.
I don't think Kanye is.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Correct us. Send in corrections to mediaboatpodcast@gmail.com. You got us. I just want any engagement. It can be negative engagement. I just want some sort of engagement. That's all I ask.
Well, I got engagement.
All right. Our second story is even more depressing. Sinclair Broadcasting Group. You remember them.
Yes, they tried to buy AT&T.
Or
Tribune Media. Or Warner Brothers. Or Comcast. Who are they not trying to buy at this point?
They're trying to buy people to spread their stupid message, and the next purchase they made is, hey, remember how Disney had to sell off 21 regional sports networks that they inherited from the Fox buy?
Yes, they were forced to sell them from the DOJ.
Well, they reached a deal with Sinclair. They will buy the networks for $10 billion. The deal comes months after the terminated sale of Tribune Media to Sinclair. Remember, that didn't happen.
Yep.
Which cost them the potential of 42 TV stations in 33 markets. Disney had acquired the sports networks, of course, as we said, part of its $71 billion acquisition of 21st Century Fox. But the requirement, of course, that they sell those regional sports networks. So yeah, all those regional sports networks will be going to Sinclair. What effect that will have on the broadcast, like on the programming of those networks, who can say?
I like to think that they didn't win the bid, but rather they just outbid everyone.
They outbid everybody.
Because they have the money.
Yeah, Tribune didn't want it, couldn't get it, so yeah.
It was less a pitch of an idea of what a sports network would be, but rather money.
Yeah, money.
I mean, you sell it for $71 billion and you're getting $10 billion back. Yes. Those are billions, by the way. Billions.
All billions here.
Yes.
It's a stupid amount of money. So that's, it for television news. I already know the question. I don't know why answer this question. I don't know why I'm asking you. But did you watch any television this week?
I believe I did watch some TV this week.
What did you watch on television this week?
Okay.
Sir.
First off, the new season of The Amazing Race has started.
You're still watching The Amazing Race.
It is my guilty pleasure.
How many seasons of The Amazing Race have you watched in total?
In total?
Yeah, in total. How many seasons have you watched?
So when we had Hulu, I started from the very beginning.
Right. You didn't far.
I believe I caught up to like...
That's insane if you did.
God.
Because it's been running for like probably 15 plus years at this point, right?
Oh yeah, it's like at season 28, I think.
Because they do 2 a year,
They do
right?
2 a year.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't do 2 a year, but now they do.
Now they do.
Yeah. This one is their odd one. So it's their celebrity special edition one.
All right. Name a celebrity that's on this season.
I cannot.
See?
Because this is a special CBS exclusive celebrity edition.
Oh, so it's just people from their shows?
Not just from their shows, but from their reality shows.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Okay.
You have people from The Amazing Race, Big Brother, and Survivor, all competing on The Amazing Race.
Gross. This sucks. Why are you watching this?
Vanity at this point.
Okay. Cool. So anything to say about The Amazing Race, or it's just that it exists?
It exists. It's still The Amazing Race.
Mm-hmm.
I hardly pay attention when I put it on, but I'll watch it for the tasks and the travel.
You ever consider doing it?
Oh, all the time.
Do you want to? You and someone that's not me should do it.
I have considered this several times.
Because hell no, I ain't doing that shit. But somebody else could do it. I'd watch. I'd watch if you were on. Be entertaining.
It's one of those things where I watch it because I'd like to think I'd be good at it.
Yeah.
And then I may actually not be good, and I don't want to be the first one out because it kind of sucks. But it's always fun to do the traveling thing.
Sure.
So yeah, I've always considered trying out. You have to submit videos and stuff, but
also follow-up question: is it still amazing?
I think it is still amazing. Although it is surprising that they're still able to find stuff for these people to do and different tasks and challenges, but. It's always amazing how frustrated they get at each other and how lost they get and just instantly start bickering. I'm like, you knew what this was. Why are you fighting?
See, that stuff just annoys me.
It is.
I just can't watch that. I'm I just want to turn the channel immediately when families start arguing with each other. It's no, I don't want to watch this. This is not fun. You know what is fun, though?
What is fun?
Something I watched.
What did you watch?
I watched the new Netflix original series, Tuca and Birdie.
I saw that this was on Netflix, and I wanted to text you that it was on there, but I forgot.
What if I told you that this is now my new favorite new show this year?
Well, this is from the same animator of BoJack Horseman.
So, yes, to be specific, this show is created by Lisa Hanawalt, who is the art director for BoJack, which is why the character designs are familiar looking.
Right.
And the world is made up of a similar mix of animal, mostly animal in this one, less human. There's not as much of a human animal balance as there is in BoJack.
Okay.
But tonally, though, this could not be further away from BoJack.
So it's not depressing?
It is not depressing.
Ooh.
There has been, I'm about halfway through the season so far. There are 10 episodes, as Netflix is wont to do. And there has only been one moment of real, oh, this is supposed to be super, emotional. Only one. The rest of the show almost feels like it is there's two ways I can put it. It's almost kind of like the vibe of, a Broad City combined with maybe Bob's Burgers.
Okay.
Where it's you get the Broad City stuff where it's about these two female friends in a city going on misadventures.
That's what I kind of gathered from the original description.
But then you also get, it's paced ridiculously.
Okay.
I think the way that I put it earlier this week when I was watching it for the first time is, it's an adult cartoon that is paced like a children's cartoon. Is to imagine, like, when you think of something like a SpongeBob SquarePants, where it's like visual gag, signs in the background, like stuff you would have to pause to see. Stuff like where somebody imagines something and it becomes real. Like it drops out of the sky. Things are happening in the background constantly. Things are like
a Teen Titans Go, just a
bombardment
of gags and nods.
So imagine a gag cartoon, but every once in a while there's boobs. And somebody says fuck.
Okay, so that's how you get the adult version in it.
This thing is incredible.
Okay.
It is a crazy... it's just crazy to watch. Like I said, something is happening constantly on screen. There's just color everywhere. It's just such a vibrant and lively world. But the characters are really cool, too. And the characters are actually well built within that structure. So it's really easy to make a show like that and just be like, all right, I don't care about any of these characters. But you do actually care about these characters. They're really well written. They're fun. They're charming. Even the characters you don't think you're supposed to like the pilot, it's introduced that Birdie, who is kind of the anxious, she's anxious. She's more reserved. She's more prudish compared to Tuca, who is the Tiffany Haddish character, who is over the top. Very extroverted, very does odd jobs around the city, very out there.
Okay.
And so, again, that Broad City comparison is easy to make. But you have her, so the Birdie's character has a boyfriend, a live-in boyfriend, who you think is going to be set up as he's going to be dumb, he's going to be useless, he's going to be all these stereotypes. But the show actually makes you think he's really charming by the fifth episode. I actually was thinking you know what? I don't hate this dude. He's still kind of dumb. He's still kind of not as exciting as the other characters of the show. But what I'm saying is the show actually does work to make you like these characters.
Okay.
More so than I imagined that they would. It's a really, really cool universe. There's the jokes are hilarious, especially the sight gags, especially the stuff written. There's a lot of stuff, like I said, where you're going to have to pause to see everything. Kind of like a classic Simpsons sign gag style. You'll have to do that here. Especially the pilot. The pilot is, the fastest 25 minutes I think I've ever sat through in Netflix. It is ridiculously paced. And so, the downside to all that is that it's kind of overwhelming, especially that first episode. So I could imagine people who don't know what they're getting into being all right, this is really weird.
Okay. Now, compare this pacing to that of Big Mouth, the other Netflix kind of adult potty mouth humor.
Big Mouth takes its time compared to this thing.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Big Mouth is even not as paced as quickly and as zanily as this thing.
So this is like a Saturday morning cartoon.
That's what I'm saying. It's somebody finally realized, oh, why aren't we doing this kind of thing in, adult animation? It is crazy. I mean, as the season has gone on, it has let the stuff happening breathe a little more than the first couple episodes did, and I don't know if that's going to continue BoJack style towards the end, where once the plot starts ramping up, we'll have less craziness. But another way I guess I could put the tone of this thing: imagine if they did a season of BoJack that was just about Todd. Okay. That is kind of what this is. It's crazy, but I'm really, really enjoying it. Like I said, I think it's the favorite new show I've seen all year, and I'm excited to finish it because it's a delight. It's amazing.
All right, I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, definitely watch the pilot because it's almost like the barrier of entry. If you pass the pilot, then you're all right, you can handle the rest of it because it calms down a little after that. But it is crazy.
Well, I'll definitely check it out because you said it's basically boobs and fuck.
There's a lot of boobs. There's a lot more boobs than I anticipated in this show.
Well, another show that has a lot of boobs and fuck.
Okay.
Game of Thrones.
Yes, you are continuing to watch this season of Game of Thrones, and the internet, man, they've gone on an emotional roller coaster over this thing. I've heard some people oh yeah, this is the greatest episode ever, and then after this last one, this is the worst episode ever. What is happening?
Apparently, because it's not going the way fans want it to go, either, quote, fulfilling prophecies or changing character motives, or this is a betrayal to the entire series. Because people have their own, set things of how they think things should go.
They have their expectations.
They have their own expectations, and because they are subverting all of them in every direction in order to like keep things fresh and keep you on your toes, people are not liking it.
This reminds me of something almost like a big franchise film that came out a year-ish ago, where everybody was like, "Oh, my fan theory was wrong, so I'm pissed at this."
Yes, it was. Why are you doing this? You're portraying the character. They would never do this. In my mind, because I've read the books and because I've watched the show, they would never do this.
I'm the fan. I decide what's
I know what's right for these characters.
Yeah. Well, okay. So basically, people got their hopes up, and got their fan theories in a bunch, and are all pissed.
Oh, I was right. Skags.
Yeah, you must Skags. But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, what are your feelings though currently where we're at?
Currently,
no spoilers, of course.
Currently, I'm enjoying it. I'm watching it as a fan of the show.
Right.
I enjoy the subversion, the twist, the turns, the pullbacks that they have put on. This upcoming episode is their penultimate episode on Sunday, which means there are only 2 episodes left of Game of Thrones. And people are freaking out because, oh my god, this was supposed to be the whole series, but you finished it at episode 3. So I don't really care about this other thing, even though it's called Game of Thrones and not Game of Survival or Game of Death. It's called Game of Thrones. Who's sitting on the throne? Yeah. Not this MacGuffin of the White Walkers from the North are coming down, and that is the big threat. When no, it's called the throne. The Night King doesn't want the throne. He wants something else, which we don't figure out till this season. It's like, how did you guys not figure that out? Like, I thought that was obvious. Apparently not. Or apparently this is part of fans' expectation of, no, he's the big thing. He's the zombie thing. We wanted to kill the zombie thing at the end. That's the big battle. But no, it's not called the big battle. It's called Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like people are very quick to jump on this thing.
No, they are.
It's not even done yet.
No, so there's 2 episodes left. And I hope by episode 8, it kind of like calms everybody. They're like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. And people will be like, and just, you know, it'll put people in their place, like, oh, so that's what they were going for.
Maybe.
We didn't get it because we weren't watching the whole.
Or because the internet is terrible, it'll more likely be like, oh, they ended this so badly. Oh, I can't believe they ended it like this.
And then we'll see a top 10 list, like immediately the next day of the worst episode, or the worst top 10 of bad last seasons. And number 2 will be Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because number 1 will always and forever be How I Met Your Mother.
No, it wasn't that bad. It was fine. Anyways. All right, let's move on, though, because we can't talk about Game of Thrones forever.
No. Did you watch anything else?
No, I did not watch anything else, so unless there's anything else you need to talk about.
There's something I did watch. I finally caught up on TV, and I watched all of The Good Doctor. And I no longer like that show.
Okay, I was figuring it was only a matter of time.
So that's the Freddie Highmore is on the spectrum,
right?
But he's also a surgeon.
But he's a good doctor.
But he is a good doctor,
as the name implies.
Yes, he is a good doctor.
Yes,
but because it is the second season, they had a tough time nailing down the cast because they're bringing people. At the end of the first season, they kicked people out because they didn't want them, and then people liked them, so they brought them back. But they couldn't figure out how to work them in, so they'd kick them out again, and then bring in new people. But they're not gelling well, so they kick them out. And it just became this whole mess of worrying about all the excess characters.
Right.
Instead of worrying about the main character, Freddie Highmore. And then even the writers couldn't figure out his plot, essentially, because it became this thing of, oh, well, we know you're good. We know you're a good surgeon, but are you a good doctor? Can we trust you on your own? And apparently that was their big conflict of the season, which is not a big conflict of a season.
That's stupid.
It is, and that's why by the time I was just struggling with the last couple episodes. This is not the show that I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
This is not the show that was the first season. this has morphed into something else that I'm no longer caring about. And congratulations, Ryder, you ruined it for me.
You did it! Yay! Okay,
Yes.
before we move on to cancellations and renewals, do you have any TV you need to get off your
No, but I have a comment.
Okay.
Says, exploring Kanye's ego sounds terrifying.
I agree. All right, cancellations and renewals. We got some renewals for you and a cancellation. First up, Hulu has renewed a couple of their shows. Pen 15 will return for a second season. And Rami also will return for a second season.
That's not Rami Malek. That is in a different show.
It's Rami. ABC also has renewed Blackish for a sixth season.
In addition to that, they are planning 2 different spin-off shows. That's in addition to the Grownish spin-off that's already taking place.
Yeah. But then lastly, E! Over on the E! Network, they've canceled Busy Phillips' talk show Busy Tonight after 1 season.
Okay, I'm glad you know what that is, because
Yes.
I had no idea.
I know this because I recently saw Busy Phillips in person this last weekend.
Wait, like on purpose?
Yes, we attended a young adult book festival, Y'all West,
Okay.
that was held in Santa Monica this past weekend. She has a book, a memoir, and so she was there as part of a panel. So yeah, I got to see Busy Phillips.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw the day after that her talk show had been canceled.
Oh,
So yeah.
okay.
All right. Next up is deaths. We have to talk about some deaths.
Yes, there was, some deaths.
Handful here. First up, Barbara Perry, age 91, was an actress in shows such as The Andy Griffith Show, The Dick Van Dyke Show, and The Hathaways. 91, though. That's a full life.
Yeah, that's some good shows.
Chris Riccardi, age 54, cartoon director. Was known for directing episodes of The Ren and Stimpy Show, Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls, among others.
Yeah, I saw a lot of this on Twitter.
Yeah, he had a storied career, from what I understand. Direct and had an effect on a lot of great cartoons over the course of his tenure. So yeah, that's a big loss. 54 is young.
Mm-hmm.
John Starling, age 79, a bluegrass musician. The Seldom Scene, I guess that was something he wrote or was in, or
that was the name of the band.
okay, and won a Grammy in 1992.
Yeah, Grammy Award winning.
But lastly, the sad one for all you Star Wars fans out there, Peter Mayhew, age 74, who of course was the actor who portrayed Chewbacca in the original trilogy and Force Awakens.
Just The Force Awakens.
Right. That's what I meant. Like only those 4 movies. I don't think he portrayed him in any other movies.
I believe he was in
Was
it.
he in that scene in episode 3?
I believe he was in the scene in episode 3.
All right. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, Peter Mayhew.
Yeah, that was a sad one.
Yeah.
Giant man. But
with
yes.
an even bigger heart.
Right. From what I understand, a lot of people said he was very, very sweet and will be missed.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right.
Yep. Upon his death, leading up to his death, he established the Peter Mayhew Foundation, and if you want to donate to that, please do.
Yes, absolutely.
I believe it supports not cancer research, but mental illness.
Oh, okay.
Because he was a shy person.
Got it.
So that's why.
Makes sense. All right. With that, I transfer this over to you, and we'll talk about some music.
All right. Well, while we get to music, let's get to some hockey. Why don't we?
Hockey.
I'm sorry, not hockey. I'm talking about music.
All right. What do we got? Because there's some new releases. Oh no, we got the Billboard.
No, we got the Billboard. We always start music with the Billboard. I always start with the Billboard with the Hot 100. And what do you know? Lowell Town Road. Take me down to that Old Town Road. Old Town Road is your number 1 song once again by Lil Nas X.
Yep.
Number 2 is Me.
Me.
All caps exclamation point Me by Taylor Swift, and apparently not the guy from.
I guess he's not credited. Brendan Urie is not credited here. according to Billboard, which is weird.
Yeah, but he is, I believe. Yeah. On Spotify,
maybe because it's a featuring as opposed to an and. Maybe Billboard's rules are different.
No, because sometimes they do feature.
No, because I remember there was some controversy maybe late last year or something. There was that one 21 Savage song that had Drake on it.
Yeah.
That for some reason, when it was on the Billboard chart, it did not credit Drake.
Huh.
It only credited 21 Savage. So there was like people at the time being like, "Oh, does this count for like a Drake single
song in
the top 5?" And it did apparently because of Billboard's weird rules. So I wonder if that's the case here as well.
Okay. Well, we have at number 3, "Wow," period.
Wow.
Period.
Wow.
Period. By Post Malone.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4,
period.
"Sucker" Sucker by Jonas Brothers. That's a catchy ass song of a catchy song.
Yeah, it has a hook.
Yeah. And number 5, "Sunflower" by Post Malone and Sway Lee.
Yes.
As for your Billboard 200, your albums, we have "Hurts to Be Human" by Pink.
Yes, Pink, number 1 album.
I believe you listened to this?
No, I'm behind I'm 3 weeks behind on the number 1s.
All right.
I have to listen to, let's go down the list. I have to listen to Khalid, I have to listen to BTS, and now I have to listen to Pink.
Oh, that's right, you have to listen to BTS.
I have to listen to BTS. Although I'm kind of excited because I watched a little bit of something. I forget what I was watching a little bit of. But they played a BTS song, and I was like, you know what? This is all right.
Was it SNL?
No, it was not SNL.
Okay.
I don't remember what it was, but I was like thinking at the time, I was like, yeah, okay.
Okay. Billboard 200, we have "Hurts to Be Human" by Pink. Number 2, "People" by Hillsong United.
Yeah.
3, "Crash Talk" by Schoolboy Q.
Yes.
4, "When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go" by Billie Eilish.
Still there.
And number 5, "Free Spirit" by Khalid.
Yes. So all top 3 this week debuts.
Those are all debuts. Because Billie Eilish was number 1 and fell down.
But we will have a new number 1 next week.
Why do you say that?
Because I listened to it.
Okay.
But we can talk about that later.
Well, you can tell me what it is, what I'm going to be listening to when that.
It's not. Well, it came out last week, but it will be number 1 next week.
Okay.
Because remember, there's a delay.
Yes, there's a week delay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we have new releases then.
Well, what will I be listening to this week?
I don't know what you'll be listening to this week, but here are your new releases.
Mm-hmm.
We have Charlie Bliss. Yes, that Charlie Bliss.
Yes, I will be listening to this.
With "Young Enough."
Yes, very excited.
We have Ciara with "Beauty Marks." Holly Hendren with "Proto." Jamila Woods with "Legacy." Legacy.
Yes.
Mac DeMarco with "Here Comes the Cowboy."
Here it comes.
Marvis Staples with "We Get By."
It's Mavis Staples.
Marvis Staples.
Noir.
Mavis Staples with "We Get By." Meat Beat Manifesto.
I included that just for you.
Meat Beat Manifesto.
Just feel it on your tongue for a second there.
With Opaque Cooch.
I have no idea.
Cushy?
So Google Sheets wouldn't let me do the accent on the E.
I figured
but they're supposed to be what?
I think it's Couché.
Yeah.
That's Opaque Couché?
I guess.
That sounds like an album name. Opaque Couché.
I hope that's not something really dirty because we're saying it an awful lot.
Oh, we're also saying Beats Meats.
We're also saying
Beat Manifesto.
Beat Manifesto.
We have Knots with 3.
Yes.
Rye.
I may also be listening
with
to
Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy Hagar. Yes, that's Sammy Hagar.
Yes.
And The Circle with Space Between. Shaggy. Yes, that's Shaggy. With his new album, Wah Nah.
So I have no idea what that's supposed to be.
Wah Nah.
Yeah, Wah Nah.
I believe it's Wah Nah. You have to say it in like the Shaggy voice.
Maybe.
Oh, Wah Nah. I'm going to go back there. Let's go. Wah Nah.
That's quite a Shaggy impression. Anyway.
Hey, we also have The Get Up Kids.
Right.
Not Get Up Kids. The Get Up Kids.
Yes, The Get Up Kids.
With Problems.
Yes.
And finally, Whitesnake. Yes, that Whitesnake on the hood of your car. Whitesnake with Flesh and Blood. not on the hood of your car.
So a lot of weird, comeback albums this week.
I don't know if it's a
not really sure what's going on there.
Sure.
We're still around.
We're still around albums.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird week. Okay, now? Should I talk about what I listened to?
Well, we have some news to go through first.
Okay.
I know you want to talk about this stuff.
No, it's more like we keep changing when we do things.
No, we have thoughts at the end
of this segment.
Yes.
All right. What's up in music news this week?
So, in music news, we have the Recording Academy.
Yes.
Well, they're making it official.
Yes, this was something that we knew was going to happen, but we hadn't actually reported on the show yet because we were waiting for it to be official. Now it's official.
Now it's official. Now we can talk about it.
Yes.
I'm engaged.
No.
Oh, no, it's not official?
No. What's official about the Recording Academy?
Oh, well, the Recording Academy, well, more specifically, the Board of Trustees of the Recording Academy has officially appointed Deborah Dugan as the next president/CEO of the Recording Academy. The Society of Performers, Musicians, Songwriters, Producers, Engineers, and all music professionals, if I didn't really cover it in any of the previous 6 words.
Right.
And the organization behind the annual Grammy Awards. Variety had reported last month that Dugan had been elected by the board, but the appointment was announced today by John Popo, who's chair of the board.
I read his name as Popo, but sure, we can call him Popo.
Popo! Dugan will formally assume the role of President-CEO on August 1st, replacing Neil Portnow, who had held the role...
And sucked! Sorry.
How long has he sucked?
A long time. Too long.
Try since 2002.
Yeah, too long.
So, when the iPod came out... and music industry changed forever because of it.
He lived through that entire, he was there through the entire thing.
Up until now.
Yeah.
When he outlasted the iPod.
He did.
How think about that?
That's depressing. That's what that is.
He will stay on for an unspecified transition period.
Yeah.
Most likely 3 to 6 months.
So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it's exciting to have fresh blood in here. It'll be interesting to see how this has effects on the industry. This affects the Grammys specifically. And apparently, I did not include this in the news, but there was a follow-up story basically with... basically, she said as much. So she said that changes will be coming to how the Academy runs things and specifically how the Grammys are voted on.
Okay. Now, for those people out there listening to us, who are not informed about who Deborah Dugan is, would you care to inform them?
Am I supposed to know? I didn't know who she was before this.
Oh, did you not look into it?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, this is my time to shine then.
All right. Shine on.
All right. Deborah Dugan will be the new president and CEO of the Recording Academy for the Grammys. Who was she?
Yes.
I do not know.
Wait a minute, what the hell was all that? I thought you would know a bunch of background stuff.
No, I have no idea. This is the first time reading your bit here. I don't know who she is. Also, I assume it's a she.
Yes, Deborah.
Deborah is a very
Deborah identifies as female, yes. Anyways, let's move on.
Alright, moving on.
I thought you genuinely knew something I didn't.
In music news? Hardly.
Alright, well, how about the second story?
Oh, the second story I know a little bit about.
Alright.
Because this involves Frozen.
Yes, it
does. And learning to
does.
let it go.
Yes, something has been let go.
Yes. A Chilean singer has dropped his suit claiming that Let It Go, from Frozen and from your kid's iPod Shuffle.
Yeah, and from your kid's YouTube playlist.
Yes, from that movie, Frozen.
From your car CD.
From what your inside of your head when you go to sleep.
Yep, from your story time book.
Yes, that Let It Go, the hit song, infringed on his own composition.
Yeah.
Jamie Sierra filed the suit back in November of 2017.
Now, is it Jamie or is it Jaime?
Jaime, probably.
Probably.
Jamie. So Jamie Sierra, or Jaime Sierra filed the suit back in November of 2017, alleging that the song bore a strong resemblance to Volar, a song that he first performed in 2008. In an amended complaint, Sierra claimed that the triumphant hook of Let It Go was almost melodically identical to the hook of Volar. Well, both Volar and infringing songs use the hook's rising gestures to evoke a sense of freedom and of moving from darkness into light, according to the lawyers who wrote it.
Interesting.
Well, that was not apparently strong enough of a hook.
I think it's probably because plenty of songs have the same message. And hooks, I guess you could say if, for example, the hook from Volar is Volar, Volar, then maybe there's a little bit of similarity, but, not enough for a case like this.
No. Plus, if that's what you're basing your song off of, you may as well sue 30 other songs that came out in films that have the same triumphant, upbeat turn.
It's weird, but forget about it. You can tell how slow of a news week this week was just by the fact that I included this story.
It is. It's so slow.
Nothing happened this week.
All right. Well, if nothing happened this week, it's a good thing we listened to some music.
Good thing. So you said we. Did you also listen to this?
I don't know if I listened to this, but I did listen to Vampire Weekend, Father of the Bride.
Okay. All right, so are we going to talk about Father of the Bride now?
Yes, so my Father of the Bride is different from this Father of the Bride.
There's plenty of them.
Yes.
Including the film.
Yes.
Father of the Bride. Which this has nothing to do with, by the way, I want to get that across up front, is that I don't believe there any, correlation between this album and the movie Father of the Bride.
Nor part 2 or part 3.
Okay, in case you guys, don't know about Vampire Weekend, which I don't know what rock you've been living under since 2007.
Well, if you have been living under a rock, you were not listening to this rock, Vampire Weekend.
But so this is their 4th album. This was a double album, their first.
I knew this was a double album.
This is 18 tracks long and is 58 minutes.
It's an hour.
It's not as long as some other things.
Okay, so
I've listened to this year.
It being an hour,
yeah,
it does run pretty fast.
Yeah, it's a pretty brisk hour. They know how to pace their records pretty well. Mm-hmm. So what's your experience with the band? Do you like Vampire Weekend? Have you listened to all of their previous albums?
I like A-Punk.
Okay, that's from their first record.
Period. Okay, next.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's about it.
So you don't have that much experience with the middle couple?
I'm pretty sure I do when I listen to rock on the radio. But as for knowing it off the top of my head, no.
All right.
But listening through this album, they have a unique style that I can tell. Oh yeah, any song you put on this record, you can tell that's definitely a Vampire Weekend song.
So they've definitely developed a sound that's a little different from their original sound. Less guitars. Mm-hmm. Yes. But what they've really nailed down is their own kind of vocabulary. For a while, the joke with Vampire Weekend was always, oh, they're just doing world music. Oh, they're just doing African beats. Oh, they're ripping off Paul Simon. That used to be the recurring theme.
Okay.
And so now, yes, they're still ripping off Paul Simon.
Yes.
But they're doing it in a different way every time. And this is, I think, an interesting example of that because it's just so much of it. It's just so much Vampire Weekend in the single album. But I think it's a really good collection of what they do best.
It is. Like I said, this definitely sounds like a Vampire Weekend song. Mm-hmm. If you have an idea of what Vampire Weekend sounds like, that's what this is. There is duets thrown out throughout the album.
So Danielle Haim.
Yes.
There's a lot of Danielle Haim.
I believe that is of the band Haim.
Yes, she is one of the Haim sisters.
Yes.
She is heavily featured on this record. She's at least in 6 of the 18, if not more.
Yeah, I want to say it feels like she's the only other person singing.
Yeah, I read a review in which that they basically said she might as well be a member of the band in this thing because of how heavily she's featured. She's not the only guest, though. There are other guests. But yeah, otherwise, though, it's very much in that band's wheelhouse. They're trying a little bit of kind of a tonal difference. There's a few songs that do sound like they're a little bit more of a folk influence. Mm-hmm. Including the opener, including the song "Married in a Gold Rush," which is kind of the only a real traditional duet. And then there is kind of they're playing around a little bit more with genre here.
Yep.
Than they have in the past. There aren't as many ballads compared to the last record. There really is only one.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
I think there's a couple, but
also there aren't that many clear, this is a single for the radio, though. They've always, every single Vampire Weekend record has at least had one radio signal.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is this time.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're going for one. I think they've maybe gotten to the point where they don't need that in this era of their career.
Well, I will point out that half their songs are love songs. They talk a lot about relationships, a lot about love, marriage. Yeah. It's really aptly named that it's called Father of the Bride.
And I think that that's on purpose because in an interview, Ezra Koenig, who is the lead singer and ostensibly the band leader, he did an interview, I think, with Stereogum, in which he said as much. He said basically he likes to imagine that the characters in his songs are the same characters from his older albums that have just grown older as of the case of things. Okay. So they're settling down, they're getting married, just like the members of the band are, because he also has settled down. Of course, famously, he is now in a relationship with Rashida Jones. He has just had their first. They've just had their first child. Mm-hmm. So this is very much a reflection. The changing themes of the songs is a reflection of his life and his changing life. So yeah, you're right. There are a lot more love songs, and that's not really a thing they've done before as a band. This has a lot of that kind of theming because they are getting older.
Yeah, but it's also a nice shift in tone.
It is.
They don't pound you with love songs or those kind of songs.
There's one song that is pretty like the most lovey-dovey thing, where they're both it's another duet with Daniel Hain, where they're going back and forth giving each other compliments. It's adorable, but it is kind of syrupy sweet.
It's like Gold something, wasn't it?
I forget what it's called, but yes, but there is, so that's probably the one moment where I could see people be starting to roll their eyes, be like, all right, we get it, you're in love. We got it.
Yeah.
Yes, if I was in a relationship with Rashida Jones, I would probably write something this syrupy too. Let's be real, but still. But I think it's a fun time, especially if you like this band. I still probably think that the last one they did, Modern Vampires: The City from 2013, is still probably better. The highs are higher in that thing. There are some highs here. But there's probably a lot more good songs than maybe the first 2 records, at least in my opinion. So yeah, if I was to rank, it would probably be 3, 4, 2, 1. Maybe swap 1 and 2 depending on the day. But that's where I'm at right now. But as for somebody who's not as well versed with the catalog, what do you think overall?
Overall, they definitely have a tone or a style of their own. Like I said at the very beginning, any song on this album, you can definitely tell this is clearly a Vampire Weekend song, especially if you're coming to this from their main single, A-Punk.
Yeah,
from their singles.
For example, if you're just familiar with A-Punk from the first record, or Cousins from Contra.
Yeah.
Or even what was the one that was the single last time around? They played it a lot on frickin' our local rock station. I forget what it was. Anyways,
yeah. If you're coming from a hits perspective of Vampire Weekend, you can definitely tell this is the Vampire Weekend album, and There's nothing too much into it that's going to be like, oh, this isn't what I came here for.
No, it's very much, It's very beginner-friendly that way. But it's also rewarding for people who are more knowledgeable about the back catalog, because there are explicit references to previous songs in the song, which I always appreciate. So it's got a little something for everybody. I think you'll hear this a lot in a lot of like backyard parties this summer.
Yeah,
it does a really good job of doing that vibe.
It's a good album.
I like it a lot. All right.
Surprising, we like it.
Yeah, we like the same thing. Well, it happens every once in a while.
All right. Is there any other music?
That is it. Like I said, I had a lot of catch up to do after my vacation, and I'm still trying to catch up on stuff.
I listened to a couple of singles. The only one I can remember that I listened to was the new rap song by Eminem and Future, I think.
Okay.
You
didn't listen to the Lil Wayne Blink-182 collab that apparently happened?
I missed that one.
I also did.
But apparently, I listened to that Eminem song, and oh my gosh, that is like the rappiest of rap songs, and I've heard it a long time.
All Eminem does now.
It's just like, oh yeah, this is why I don't listen to rap anymore. It just bombarded me with rap lyrics.
It's Eminem, just... Anyway.
Anyways,
all right.
Let's move on.
Let's move on to video games.
All right, we start video games with the new releases.
Yes, we do.
And first up, we have Saints Row the Third.
Yes, again. It's a Switch release.
Yes, it's a Switch release. It's called The Full Package.
Get it?
Because it's a Ratchet and Clank reference.
The full package.
Yes,
see?
The full package for the Switch. We also have A Plague Tale, Innocence by the PlayStation.
Because we have to have at least one of these every week.
What, colons?
Yeah, something with a ridiculous subtitle.
Yes. For the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
Yeah.
And lastly, Rage 2.
This is the big release this week.
For PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
It's the sequel to Rage, a game that came out a generation ago.
Yeah.
Finally, Rage 2.
This is a shooter, right?
This is a shooter, yes.
Yeah.
This is id Software. Them who brought you such games as Doom.
Yep.
And Wolfenstein.
id.
Here it is.
All right. Let's get into some video game news.
All right.
And this is a big one because we've been covering this consistently.
Yes.
Loot boxes.
This is the first time that we see legislation.
Second time.
Oh, yeah, the second time.
Well, as we covered before, the state of Hawaii.
That's right, Hawaii.
Passed a legislation for loot box gaming.
But this time, this is on the national Senate floor.
The federal.
Yes, federal. Hello, federal.
Yes. Well, Senator Josh Hawley.
Yes.
A Republican.
Yes.
Get this. A Republican from Missouri.
Yes.
Is introducing legislation that seeks to ban exploitative, explicitive video game industry practices that target children, like loot boxes and pay to win.
Yes.
Quote, social media and video games prey on user addictions, siphoning our kids' attention from the real world and extracting profits from fostering compulsive habits. No matter this business model's advantage to the tech industry, one thing is clear. There is no excuse for exploiting children through such practices, as Senator Hawley said in his senator voice.
So, I want to know one thing about how this is written. So he could have easily just been like, hey, the companies are doing this. Instead, he went around the companies completely and said, social media and video games. Tisk, tisk. They're ruining children. Oh, yeah, because of this thing. But really, it's the media.
It's the media, yes. Well, when a game is designed for kids, game developers shouldn't be allowed to monetize addiction. And when kids play games designed for adults, they should be walled off from compulsive microtransactions. Game developers are knowingly exploit children should face legal consequences. Do you know what the name of this bill is?
Yeah, what's the name of this bill?
It's Protecting Children from Online Gambling Act.
Okay. Well, see, that's why I'm conflicted about this, and one of the reasons why I want to talk about it is because I feel like that opening statement he makes me so mad, but then the rest of it, he's totally right.
Oh, no. He's right.
It's like it just sucks the way that he framed it.
Oh, no. Yes, it's dumb the way he's framed it. This is something we should...
But ultimately, yes, I agree with the fact that this is a dumb practice. That, like, yeah, there should be things in games preventing kids from easily accessing microtransactions. I agree.
I'll try to see if I can find out the actual name for this thing. Because I saw it... the senator... Just the bill to ban loot boxes and pay to wins.
Okay, yeah.
It's meant to target these loot boxes stuff, like we've seen, as specifically in Belgium, where they outright banned it.
Right.
But it's. I don't know how I feel about this. Because on the one part, yes, you have to protect the children, but at the same time, he's not doing this to protect the children.
Yeah, it's weirdly worded, but like, it'll be interesting to see further word and if anybody backs him up on this.
Right. Well, apparently this is only supposed to be applied to games that are rated M or lower. Basically, anything under 18 rated, because there's still kids under 18.
Right. I mean, the M rating officially
is at 17. Right, which is why it includes that.
Yeah.
But, this is meant to drop or to stop loot boxes and loot game, but it's not. They'll just go around it. Because the next story we're going to talk about has already done that.
Yep.
And that is, of course, EA. Well, EA's at it again. Or are they? Aren't they?
I think this is part of their goodwill strategy for 2019. After the crappy year they had last year, I think this is one of the things that they were trying to do to clean up the image and make people happy again.
Oh, see, I saw the opposite of this story. But we'll get into that in a bit. Well, Electronic Arts apparently is doing both good and bad this week, as their subscription service, EA Access, is coming to the PlayStation 4 this summer.
Yes!
They announced Tuesday the subscription service. It will be premiering on the PS4 in July, and it is currently only available on the Xbox One and PC. Players can get an EA Access for $4.99 a month or $30 yearly. There's definitely a big discrepancy there. I think they want you to do the yearly.
A little bit.
The membership gives access to a vault of games that players can enjoy without restrictions, as well as Play First trials, which allows players to enjoy new EA games for up to 10 hours.
Yeah.
This is something that they should have done a long time ago. I believe this was an exclusive for Xbox, which is why they couldn't do it.
There are currently... no. So apparently what happened... I learned this on a podcast I listened to today.
Okay.
But apparently what happened was Sony was approached by EA to offer this on the PlayStation. Sony turned them down. Sony told EA that they didn't believe that it was going to be a good deal or a lucrative business deal, like a business investment for them to make as a platform holder. They just legitimately didn't see the use case nor saw it as being as successful as it has been. So they then watched it over the course of time being on the Xbox and on PC, and they probably realized, I guess we were wrong, and said probably like, hey, EA, do you want to make that deal? And welcome back into the fold. So yeah, this will be good for PlayStation 4 owners that don't have Xbox Ones and or PCs and haven't had access to all these games. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, it'd be good. I saw the reverse of this, which was EA's investor meeting.
Oh.
Which I think we covered last week or 2 weeks ago, and how their big AAA titles, and including Anthem, still a big money loss for them, as it only made like $5 million total.
Yeah.
When they still expected that to make that like the first week, and that their free game, Apex Legends, is their money-making game. So I saw EA is going to be shifting their business practices to mimic more Apex Legends type stuff.
Which is probably a good idea. Especially if all those games are as good as Apex Legends and are better than Anthem.
Yeah. But this may be signaling a change from AAA, big developers, big story, action-driven games to
smaller stuff.
Smaller stuff, yep.
Which, again, might be smarter for them, at least for a little bit.
Yeah, but this is a company move, not necessarily we're doing it for the gamers. But as EA put, I will always put it, gamers vote with their wallet. Yeah. And EA, what are you doing?
They're always trying something.
They're always doing something. All right, well, let's get into thoughts. Do you have anything else?
I did not play any video games this week, so I've got nothing to add.
Okay, well, as I reported a couple of weeks ago, Kingdom Hearts 3 came out with its new patch, which included Critical Mode. So I've been playing some Critical Mode. That thing has kicked my ass!
Yes, that's what you were saying last week when you brought this up briefly.
Yes. I
still have a problem with it?
I played more of it, but even with my souped up Keyblades, or at least I have to get it back to being souped up, it's still a struggle, which I am enjoying the struggle, weirdly enough. It's still hard, but at least it's not like I'm banging my head against the wall, there's no way I can do this.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like the challenge that Kingdom Hearts fans were looking forward to and that we should have gotten from the beginning. But Critical Mode has always been a final mix release.
Right.
So the fact that we're getting it for free is good. There will be DLC announced at E3 that is all but confirmed at this point, since Square Enix will have its own basically press conference at this point at
right,
E3.
Yeah. They will have a press conference at E3. So.
Yep. Alright. That's all I've been playing.
Cool. Well, then that's it. And you know what that means.
Oh, that means we get to plug away.
We get to wrap up the show. That has been it for the Media Boat podcast for this week. We will be back, of course, next week, because this is a weekly show. We do the Media Boat podcast live on YouTube every Wednesday night around 6:30 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to watch us live, go on YouTube, search Media Boat Podcast, and you'll find our page. If you want to get notifications when we go live, click our little bell, and you'll get notifications when we go live.
Hey, that's how that works.
Funny how that checks out.
How that works.
If you want to listen to the audio version of this is also available as a podcast. If you search Media Boat Podcast in your podcast catcher of choice, you'll find us. And subscribe to us there and listen to us every week. If you want to find us on social media, we're on Twitter at MediaBoatCast. We're on Facebook, search Media Boat Podcast. You'll find our page. Like and comment, please. If you want to watch us play video games every once in a while, we're on twitch.tv/MediaBoat. It will post on social media when we're live there. You can also help us make this content even better by donating to us on our Patreon page. Patreon.com/MediaBoat is where you go for that. Donate as little as $1 a month, and even that little amount, a fraction of a coffee every month, can help us make this content even better. So please help us out. Patreon.com/MediaBoat. And and like I said earlier in the show, if you have any feedback you want to give us, questions, comments, corrections, anything, please go to MediaBoatPodcast@gmail.com. Send us a message. We'll read it. I guarantee it. We'll read it. So,
yes. Or you can talk to us live, and we'll read your comments live on air and respond live during our YouTube broadcast.
So anyway, you want to reach us, we call us, beep us if you want to reach us. If you want to page us, that's not okay because we do not have pagers.
But you can email us, and that is okay.
That is okay. All right. You'll see you next week then for another episode of Media Boat Podcast. Bye-bye.
We'll be back next week with our thoughts on Detective Pikachu.
Yes, Pika Pika.
Pika Pika, bye.
Bye.
All right, YouTube after show, and we are caught up. We've read all the comments.
We did.
Like I said, we comment live. You comment to us live, and we will talk to you back as it happens.
It's true.
Live.
All this is true.
All this happens every Wednesday, 6:30 Pacific time.
To be specific time.
To be very specific time.
All right.
All right.
See you guys next week.
Bye-bye.